welcome to Eve Online. I'm Major Freak. So on we haven't fed the aggressor anything this week, the first week, and typically, mostly,
warp drive active.
He does not continue the war for anybody not feeding him content. Now there are exceptions. And if, say, I was emailing or harassing or bumping him with neutrals, I'm sure he knows who I am. I'm sure he would have continued the Wardecs just to be spiteful. But and he's completely irrational, so there's no guarantee of what I'm saying is true. But as a rule of thumb, feeding no content. Now, my thought process is, how does he go about that? Are the ones that are the exceptions just him trying to micromanage so many Wardecs and clicking the wrong button? Because once you renew the ward, there's no canceling, right? So you can mistake there. It could not be irrational. It could just be so much to handle, like so many Wardecs at once. So I was thinking, how does one do that? I'm thinking right now, why don't I just Wardeck a whole crap load of people on Singularity, just everybody, just like him, and then look at it in the sense of, okay, how do I manage this? And that's the only way I can figure out of doing this in other than a thought experiment that I'm trying right now. Because if you go into, say, corporate wallet, and you can set automatically paid for the bills, but you can choose which, like if you can set it, you can go, okay, I choose, this is the war division, and I'm gonna set the automatically pay settings for war bill, and you click that, and then you apply. It does not keep any record of that when you do it, so you've got to do it by heart. And did I set it? Or probably takes a bit of
warp drive active
discipline not to try to do it again or anything. Anyway, so it's a bit, this automatic pay setting is a bit wonky. It's not intuitive. It's very hard. But so if he automatically pays them, he can't choose not to automatically pay some bills. He's got to do them nothing or all.
Docking permission requested.
And since you've got the alliance, you can't split it up. You can't have bills in different divisions for particular wars and have those divisions, some of them, because the best way to do this is have, say, one division automatically pay the war bills assigned to it, and then the other you do it manually. And that way, that I was just thinking, if you do it that way, say this automatically pay war bills and not manual, so you could say, okay, these ones I want to continue, I can just drag and drop anyone into the let it expire location. You could also do it by not funding that division. Say, okay, I'm sick of that war, or you could have it rotating. You could have a bunch of wars in each, but it doesn't work that way. It would be nice, but we're talking about, how does he deal with it? And of course he can't do it. So he can't, if he's doing some and doing another, he can't do automatically paid. It would not work. So he's got a whole crap ton of bills stretching down, like, I'll do it on Singularity, and he's got a crap ton. And of course, since he's got control of it, he can go, okay, I'm going to continue that, pay the bill, click that, pay the bill, click that, pay the bill, click that, pay the bill. And it's going to have to be by heart. I mean, otherwise he's got spreadsheets all over this place. So as long as you don't feed him content by entering his radar, so to speak, of his, because when he Wardecs, it's probably from a Rolodex, literally. It'd be funny to see it twirl around. But yeah, I mean, he's got to decide to continue it manually, and he just lets the others expire. So I wonder if he decides to continue it. So I think, like, thinking about it now, just going through the thought experiment, the only logical way I can think, if I was doing this, to do it intelligently, is the moment I get a decent bit of content from a corp, I go click pay bill, and that just continued, and it would take away having to have spreadsheets and everything. I just get a bit of content with somebody. I go, oh, go into a corporate wallet and pay that bill, and do it that way. That way you can maintain this continuous stream of crazy Wardecs that the high-tech Wardeckers do. You can extrapolate it to other, the Wardeckers, the pirates in high sec, pirate, back in the day. They probably did it this way. They probably just had a routine of the Rolodex adding the Wardecking, and it would add to the bills, and the person dealing with bills would go, it would have to be spreadsheet. Otherwise, it would be. But for a one-man alliance, it would be easy because all he'd have to do is go, oh, I got a bit of content, pay bill. But for a large alliance like that with multiple players, and it would just be, you'd have to have, some kind of way of figuring out who you're going to continue and who you're not. I wouldn't be able to even begin to fathom how they do that, but at least I can imagine a one-man alliance doing, or the person in control doing most of the content for themselves and getting the kills, going, okay, that was fun bit of content, I'm gonna continue. And sometimes he might forget. I mean, he's got so much going on. That's why some exceptions slip through, because, a lot of stuff, do you have the time to open up a corporate wallet and find in the list the corporation or alliance you're dealing with that you just killed and click pay bill? I mean, sometimes you just, you can't do everything, right? So that could explain the exceptions. Just thinking about the mechanics of actually the logistical nightmare of maintaining or not bills, right? Or maybe, here's a thought. Okay, so he's got, this is another. So he's got, so the automatic pay is either or, right? But you can set one of the wallets for paying bills automatically, and it just makes all the bills pay automatically. Say second division pays all the bills, and you can fund or not. Yeah, that would be just way too difficult. Say, I don't want to have it. No, he's not doing that. But it would be an option. You'd go, okay, for today, I'm done with the wars. I've had enough. My fill of renewing the wars. I'm just going to drain that wallet, and everything's going to expire. Now, you can tell this because if somebody's doing that, say, okay, well, we've renewed enough today, let's remove all the money from that wallet and let the rest expire. You can tell because whenever a bill is automatically paid, there's a delay of about an hour that's random, between an hour and a half, and at 2 hours. It's probably less than an hour, but my rule of thumb is an hour and a half. It takes the system to go, oh, better pay that bill, gonk, and it renews the war. And yeah, that's why I think most Wardeckers know that, and I think that's why most of them, even the ones that do it manually, do it near the end of the day, because some wars, if it automatically pays and it's an hour and a half later, it goes into the next day, which confuses war targets, knowing the mechanics behind when their war is going to expire. And if you create confusion, you also create frustration and people willing to take risks, or not even being aware of that cooldown where the war is still active but says it's expired. So I think there's a lot of gain to be had by the pirates, and I think they've been doing it for years in manipulating and gaming the system around that to confuse people as to when exactly the war's ending. So, yeah. Anyways, I think those are the two options: either draining a war bill division when you're sated for that day, or doing the manual. Oh, we just got content from that people. Let's continue the war for next week. Click PayPal, stuff like that. That would make sense. I mean, as a thought experiment, that seems to hold together. But yeah, it would be interesting to go on Singularity and just war deck a whole bunch of people and then manage that. But I think the thought experiment is good enough. I think we're rational people. We can, use our brains. So yeah, interesting stuff.